This reminds me very much of the end of 2019.
You know who else said that Tesla stock is looking like it did back in 2019? Me and Stephen Mark Ryan. When, you ask? On December 29th, when Tesla stock was at $112.71. I actually bought Tesla stock back in early 2019, just a tiny little bit under $20 per share. And then right after I bought it, I watched it just go down continuously, month after month. At one point, it was down about 50%. My timing was not great, right? Let's hear what Gary Black has to say.
Future fund managing partner Gary Black is with us. Gary, good to have you. The last time we spoke, you were bemoaning the fact that Twitter was taking an awful lot of Mr. Musk's time. You were encouraging him to move on from that to a certain extent, if I recall. He hasn't yet. I've reported he's looking for a new CEO, hasn't found one, still spending a lot of time on Twitter, and yet we've had this amazing rally in shares of Tesla. To what do you attribute it, and why do you believe it will continue?
Tesla is still very cheap. You can't find other mega cap growth stocks with 30 to 35% volume growth trading at my number 40 times earnings. And that's going to continue. You see EV adoption going through the roof. Look at California, where it's now 17%. China, it's 22%. And Tesla is the best way to play that surging EV adoption. And again, I think when you look over the next couple of months, you have Investor Day coming. You have a blockbuster first quarter coming. You got Cybertruck coming. You got, some sort of FSD single stack product, which will improve that. You got Megapacks coming. There's so many catalysts. This reminds me very much of the end of 2019 as we were looking into 2020 with all the catalysts coming.
Indeed, there are so many catalysts. Gary Black believes that the Investor Day on March 1st is going to be a catalyst, and so does Dan Ives, actually. Already, Tesla is benefiting tremendously from the $7,500 EV tax credit. Then Gary Black believes that this quarter, Tesla could deliver more than 450,000 vehicles. I like to think about what is going to be happening to Tesla in a year or a few years, not so much quarter to quarter. So here's a more interesting way to think about this. Last quarter, Tesla delivered 405,000 vehicles. And if you multiply that by 4, that is 1.6 million vehicles. If we just add 11% on top of that, that's 1.8 million vehicles, which is the official guidance from Tesla. So really, for Tesla just to hit its own guidance, Tesla just needs to deliver 11% more vehicles every quarter compared to Tesla's best quarter so far. In other words, when I look at this catalyst list, I don't really see this catalyst. What I see is more deliveries for the whole year, because I focus more on the long term and not on the short term, but it's also interesting to see what's happening short term. I am a believer in full self-driving, that eventually it will be solved. It may take some time, but I believe eventually it will be solved. However, I don't think the stock market really cares about full self-driving at all. So I don't think we will see it in a stock price until we actually solve full self-driving. Next, Megapack revenues and profits. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to watch. Check this out. 10 days ago, on February 2nd, there were 41 Megapacks in the yard. This is in the lathe drop facility. That's 4.5 Megapacks per day if they shipped none out, or 7.5 to 9.5 per day if they averaged shipping out 3 to 5 per day. And Dylan Loomis from Electrified YouTube channel says that his source tells him that they are producing 12 per day. That would be a huge deal. Tesla Megapacks are about $2 million each. If you order more, you will get a discount. Let's do some numbers. So let's assume that the 12 Megapack production number is actually true, which it may not, but let's assume it is. And let's say the average price is $2 million. And let's say the facility goes 360 days per year without being shut down. That's kind of bullish, right? and we get $8.6 billion of revenue. That is a high number. If I divide the number by $55,000, which is roughly how much Model Ys cost, these Megapacks would be equal to 157,000 Model Ys produced. Now imagine this, because Wall Street does not incorporate Megapacks pretty much at all into their models. It's almost like they will be surprised by deliveries. Imagine if Wall Street looked at the numbers and were like, oh, Tesla will deliver 157,000 more Model Ys than we thought this year, if these numbers happen. Yeah, we need to have higher price targets and we need to buy more Tesla stock. So that's just one way to think about Megapacks.
Would you argue in recent weeks then the positive fundamentals, whether it's the reopening of China, the price cuts, on and on, have simply outweighed what continues to be, I would assume, a concern that Mr. Musk is spending a lot of time focused on Twitter?
Look, that's short term. He will give up Twitter, and as I tell people, clearly there's an overhang last year from him spending as much time as he did on Twitter and all the noise. There's no question about that. But that's temporary, and he will give that up. He will find a CEO who can, basically drive the ad spending, can drive the product, can monetize the DMAUs, and that's just a matter of time. I think you got to ignore that because that's just noise. But looking forward, the reason you own Tesla is because the street is missing two big things. They're missing Cybertruck and they're missing the Megapacks. And those two things are probably worth $1.50 to incremental earnings by 2024. That's about 25% of where the street is today. That's why you want to own Tesla, not because he will give up Twitter. He will give up Twitter. There's no question in my mind that that's coming.
If we are thinking short-term only, then yeah, maybe these two are really important. But long-term, I would say, I think you want to own Tesla because Wall Street only thinks Tesla will deliver not even 7 million vehicles in the year of 2030. That's how little faith Wall Street has in Tesla. Also, they don't believe full self-driving is ever basically going to happen. They will not model it until it actually happens, which is if you want to make money. That's a little bit too late. About appointing the CEO for Twitter, eventually I think it will happen. Elon promised, and Elon keeps his promises. Sometimes he's late, sometimes he's very, very, very late, but eventually he does deliver on his promises. Gary was fully convinced that once Elon takes over Twitter in the first place, that he would appoint a CEO. So that did not happen. So I wouldn't put, I wouldn't be that confident that it is going to happen that soon. And I actually kind of hope it doesn't happen too soon because I want to load up on Tesla stock a little bit more. Once Elon appoints a CEO, that I think would have a positive effect on Tesla stock. I also want to play a few clips from when Gary was on Herbert's YouTube channel.
How much did you care that Elon sold or doesn't sell Tesla?
Elon selling Tesla shares doesn't impact value. It just doesn't. It impacts price. Okay. And so when he sells, it's a good opportunity to buy because he knocked the stock down. And anybody who says, no, he didn't, it wasn't anything to do with Elon selling, they don't get the stock market. Him selling 40 million shares between November and December made the price go down. But did it affect value? No. So you should be buying because once he said he wasn't going to sell any more shares, as long as you believe him, and I believe him, he's never put a time on it before. He said, I'm not going to sell any shares until 2024. I think he would be hard pressed to go out and sell Tesla shares in 2023 by saying that. So therefore, it doesn't really affect the way we think about Tesla's valuation, to put it simply.
When Elon sold Tesla stock the last 3 times, and especially the last 2 times, it totally crushed the sentiment. Some people thought that it actually affected Tesla's valuation for the simple reason that maybe Elon is not going to be as focused on Tesla anymore. Maybe he will leave Tesla. Maybe he is not committed to Tesla anymore. And if that was completely true, then maybe you could make an argument that Tesla's valuation was indeed affected, but that turned out to be not true. When Tesla stock kept going down, I kept getting more and more excited about buying more Tesla stock. And now more on what Gary Black thinks about the investor day.
Look, you're seeing the stock run up now. The stock is up. Tesla is up. It's the best performing stock, I think, in our portfolio this year. It's up 60%. Okay. So, you're seeing the stock run up now. It's up 60%, even though they took prices down. So that includes that first couple of days. Remember, they missed volumes, and then they took prices down in China, and the stock got down to 101, right? But, so since then, the stock is up, I don't know, 90%. But even with the first couple of days of declines, stock is up 60% year to date. I can't tell you how much of that is in anticipation of an investor day, but I do believe it's somewhat. So you will see the stock run up into investor day. I think that's part of the reason you're seeing it run up already, because we're only 3.5 weeks away, give or take, 3 weeks away, right? Today's the 7th. So yeah, you're 3.5 weeks away from it. And so I think you will see, as you always do, they'll have investor day and people will sell the news because they bid it up in front of it. And I think the Cybertruck timing and Megapack, we'll just call it opportunity, are, to me, the two big things that the street after investor day will say, oh, well, we obviously don't have enough in our models for those. And those are two things I could put my hands on. I could look at them. I could say, there's a huge unmet need for these. And I have debates with people all the time about Cybertruck, because some people just hate the look, and my partner's one of them. He can't stand the way it looks. I love the look. I think the look is just, it's like out of space, and it's got advanced design. I love the way it looks and it feels. And so I think it's going to do really well. But there are other people who just hate the look. They just think it should be more of a conventional truck.
To know if a Cybertruck is going to be successful, all you need to do is just look at the pre-orders, of which we have over 1 million. In terms of events, remember the Tesla Semi event on December 1st? Tesla stock actually did not do anything right after the event. So it doesn't necessarily need to go down right after the event. Although Tesla stock did drop, but that had nothing to do with the Semi event. And this is the Tesla stock buying opportunity explained by Elon Musk. My name is Matt Posis. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.